Hey everybody, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. Excited to have this young entrepreneur on my show today. This is Zoya Solovyeva.
You said it
Close,
right.
maybe. Okay, good. Zoya has an amazing story. She's a local real estate professional, but she's got a fantastic story. And the theme today is building your brand and creating a footprint, and you'll learn why that's interesting in her case and why I wanted you all to hear it. She came here and had no contacts, no sphere of influence, and has managed to build herself a successful business. Welcome, Zoya. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be on the show again.
Exactly. I'm happy too. We did it a few years back, but I believe that your message is such an important one right now in our community. There's a lot of people struggling in their businesses, and there's a lot of people who think that they can't do it because they don't know enough people, and you are proof that that is not accurate. So let's take a deep dive. Before we went live, I said the audience loves to know a little bit of your origin story, a little bit about you. So let's talk about your background.
Okay, well, originally I'm from Russia, and I do have some relatives in Ukraine, but mainly I'm from Russia, was made in Russia. So I came here by myself on a student visa, and I decided to stay because who doesn't fall in love with the United States, the opportunities that the country has to offer, right?
Yes.
So I worked at a restaurant before, and then I was recommended by some of my friends, hey, why don't you get a real estate license? And real estate market was going, was getting stabilized. So, okay, I got the license. I remember when I had to translate some of the words because when I was getting ready for real estate course, so many words were something that I never heard of, right?
Yes.
I passed it. And like you said, I didn't know anybody here in the States, no family, no friends, not really close friends. So anyway, so I was door knocking, cold calling. I remember sometimes sometimes I may even have cried when somebody was mean on the phone. Well, it's okay. It goes away. Practice makes perfect, right? So I was door knocking. And some people like, hey, do you want some water? Okay, yeah, I can do it. Because the weather.
You had some kind people. Did you speak English when you came here?
I studied English back in Russia, but of course my English was not that great.
So, I love your accent. I think your English is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I imagine that must have been difficult because obviously the real estate license, they have it in Spanish now. But if you are from another country or speak another language first, they don't make it easy for you to get that real estate license.
No, they don't.
So yeah. Tell me about the process, because you get your license, and then what do? Do you figure out how to get to a brokerage? I'm wondering, I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder how I would do it if I knew absolutely no one except maybe my friends at the that you met while you're here. Yeah. I know no one, but this business is all about relationships. So did you sit down and make a business plan? Did you just go, I'm going to try everything until something makes sense to me? What was the process?
The second one. First, I chose the right brokerage company. There are quite a few of them, but I went to Coldwell Banker. So they have an amazing program, and I learned a lot. So cold calling and door knocking and open houses. I've been having open houses almost every weekend. So, but yeah, I just followed, it's not, they tell you what exactly to do after you get licensed, right? So I was doing everything, but some people were like, are you old enough to be a realtor? I was 20 back, right? I'm like, yes. How long have you been in the United States? I'm like, a year. How long have you lived in Florida? Like half a year. How many houses have you sold? Well, my office sold certain amount of homes. How many have you sold? Well, you can be the first one.
I love it. That's positive attitude. I feel like you have a very positive attitude, and you're really dedicated to you're dedicated to learning your craft. And I think that that's a huge thing as well, because there's a lot of people who go out and door knock and do a whole bunch of things. And they do know people here. I mean, I really, me growing up here, I can't imagine going and dropping me into another market, let alone another country, and me trying to find my way around and build. So when did you start to decide what you were going to focus on? I know open houses are important to you. Did you stop the door knocking? Did you go, you know what, I'm more productive here? Or do you still do all of it?
I should do all of it, especially open houses. I think that is the number one thing that is, if you are hardworking, if you hold open houses as a new realtor, that is the best way, free way of getting business. So I remember back in the days, I had this one open house. I got like 10 or 12 people who left me their phone numbers, their email addresses, but I was so scared, never sold anything at the time and didn't follow up with them. And then a couple years later, I give them a call. Oh, we just closed last month. We just purchased $1 million home. I'm like, oh, good for you.
Well, the follow-up is so critical. You're right. Do you have a plan in place now that you learned? Yeah. Hey, I need to follow up. Do you have some sort of system that you use?
CRM is very important because we're all humans, right? We may forget some of the things. So I try to put people's like birthdays or like happy house anniversary. I like to send them a postcard for that. So, and I also have a real estate coach now who is pretty much actually pointing out the mistakes that I have made in the past, pretty much not following up or staying in touch with your past clients. So that's where I get most of my business now. I don't really hold that many open houses anymore, like I said, but I should. But I nurture my database, my clients, and yeah. So
it's so important to do that. There's a statistic, I don't know the exact percentage, but it's high. It's in the 90%. That a buyer or seller would use their realtor again. But so many of them don't because they don't keep in touch. And that's for any business. It's not just real estate. It takes so much time and energy to get that relationship, to get them to trust. And then we all fail, I think, in some way or shape or form with the nurturing it. Like you said, I love that word, nurturing it. Do you recommend, like, when you're here, you're obviously established. We all want more business, but you are an established realtor. You have your processes in place. What would you tell a younger entrepreneur, somebody who's just starting out? Are there any tips or things that you would tell them not to do?
Do not take it personally when you get rejected. It's a numbers game. Just move forward. The potential clients, they're not frustrated with you. They're just like, well, there are lots of realtors. Just don't give up. There's always going to be business enough for everybody, right? So not giving up and following up with people and have a system in place, CRM. And there's always going to be some moments where like 2 or 3 transactions can fall apart within the same week. It happens to all of us. Like, doesn't matter which business you're in, right? So don't give up. Keep doing it. Persistency is the key. That's how I look at it. So there was a point in my life quite a few years ago when somebody told me like, hey, maybe you should do something else. I'm like, well, I don't really know what else to do, but I didn't give up. And now, like, I mean, I'm slowly growing. I'm not the top producing agent, but I wanted to be when I got my real estate license. I'm like, I'm going to do exactly what I'm supposed to do. Now I'm going to be the top producing agent in Orlando. Didn't happen, but I'm not complaining. I'm doing pretty well. So not giving up, just do it. So.
I agree. I think a lot of people, they take the leap, and because we're such an immediate satisfaction, gratification society, we think if we're not top producer or sold 5 houses in our first month, that we're somehow not doing well and we should jump into something different. And I agree, the persistency, the not taking it personal. Oh my God, if you take things personal in this business, you are absolutely going to not be happy all the time. Let's talk about the real estate market. I love to ask realtors about that. What's your feel? How are you seeing, how's 2023 been for you, and what are you seeing for the rest of the year?
So Well, something, the interest rates had to go up, or something had to happen to slow down the crazy market that has been going on within the past like 2.5 years or so, right? So yeah, interest rates went up a little bit, but there are less bidding wars. So, and also I hear this one question from my clients a lot. Well, we're gonna wait until the prices are gonna go down. Okay, the prices go down, normally interest rates go up. Or if the interest rates are low, the prices are up. So the market is doing totally fine. Yeah, at the beginning of the year, I think it was a little bit slow for most of the realtors, but the market is doing great.
I
So
agree. I think stabilized is a great word for it. There are still plenty of deals out there to be had. There, you have to do a lot. You have to do your work diligently and persistently, like you mentioned earlier. There, realtors and lenders like me can't be order takers anymore. I mean, the business was just being thrown at us for a good solid 2 years, and that's just not here anymore. And I think that's why you're seeing a lot of realtors and lenders get out of the market, because now is when you have to have built, you should have already built your CRM and built your relationships and nurtured them. And a lot of people were just too busy taking orders. One thing about the market that I want to ask you, are you seeing, because you work with, I hate the terminology, but this is the lending terminology, foreign national. I prefer international buyer as the buyer and seller. Are you seeing a big influx on that? Are you seeing an increase in foreigners who want to buy and sell?
Definitely, 100%. I work with a lot of, well, international clients, mostly buyers, right? So they move from Russia, Ukraine, lots of refugees coming over here. Even though I don't really do rentals, I do help them out. So, and also lots of from Russian-speaking countries. And a lot of them, believe it or not, they just win a green card. Boom, they call me, hey, Zoya, we're ready to move. So not all of them are quite ready to, like, they don't really qualify for a loan yet, but lots of foreign nationals moving over here, and I'll send them your way.
Oh, well, that's very kind. Thank you. But I think a lot of people, one of the things that I want to encourage people, because you have a success with that, is that a lot of realtors they're afraid of international buyers and sellers. They think that they're not going to be able to help them because it's a little bit more of a complicated transaction. And, you know, my thing to them is that it's the same kind of transaction. So as a realtor, you shouldn't be afraid of that. I'm seeing a lot of Brazilian buyers, a lot of Canadian buyers come in. And I think it's just important that to expand your horizons. And if you want to build a brand, and especially if you speak Spanish or Portuguese, the amount of business opportunity out there is tremendous. Go ahead.
Realtors should know you, because you can definitely help them out with foreign national loans.
Hey, you're very sweet. Look, I didn't even pay her to plug me today. Thank you very much. One last question as we wrap up. I like to ask a personal question. So when I say the word hero to you, who's the first person in your life that comes to mind?
My mom.
Tell me why.
Okay, so I'm from a very poor family, from a tiny little village that even Russians have never heard of, even of my republic. I'm from Jewish Republic. So I studied English, believe it or not, back in Russia. I wanted to become an interpreter. So all of my family and friends, they were telling me, what kind of job am I going to get, and where am I going to get a job as just speaking English, right? So, but my mom was the only person who supported me, and she helped me. Well, she worked so hard so that she could buy me a ticket to come to the United States, and I have sent the money back the same month back to her, because I'm pretty hardworking. Anyway, she got so much more of that back. I could help them with remodel our house, purchase her a condo over there, and just sending her on vacation. So she doesn't like the fact that I stayed over here, but she doesn't get to see me that frequently. But my mom is a hero. She supported me. She helped me to help. Pretty much, I got my dream life, I would say.
Right.
to
I
her.
love that.
She is my hero.
I love that. That's beautiful. All right, Zoya, tell them how the best way is they can reach you and find you and do some real estate with you.
Well, Russian-speaking realtor Orlando, Zoya Solovyeva. I am on Google, so just Google me. Or they can call me at my phone number, 609-408-7086. Well,
perfect. Yeah. What a joy to have you on. I love your energy, always have. And I love your journey. I think it is inspirational. And certainly there's a lot of people who needed to hear this today. Come back anytime. Y'all, if you are Russian speaking or not, I want you to reach out to Zoya. One of her websites is scrolling there, but you can find her on social media too and on Google. Thank you so much, Zoya, for being on the show.
Much. And to all entrepreneurs, to the ones who are starting, or becoming a realtor, or doesn't matter what business, don't give up. Persistency is the key.
I love it. Persistency is the key. All right, y'all, we'll be back. See you soon.